All right, we have the early May edition of the garden tour. I was going to wait for a bit, but everything has grown up so crazy, so I need to get some documentation of this wacky growth in. So, of course, we've got strawberries, which are everywhere. More strawberries. The mint has gotten really bushy. Tomatoes are getting tall. Some peppers and other flowers. Sugar snap peas are pretty thick. There's a lot more on here, but I picked them all yesterday. The basil was unhappy when I first planted it outside, but look how happy it is now. Peppers, tomatillos, tomatoes, they're all starting to finally do something. Like this little baby tomato, which is my very first one. My blueberry bush has lots of little blueberries on it. This blueberry bush does not. It is a disappointment. The lemongrass is finally starting to perk up. The corn has gotten much, much bigger. That is a sunflower that seeded itself from last year. I've got some garden peas here that are taking their sweet time. They were planted well before the corn, and they have not done hardly anything. Same with my pole beans. They were planted well before the corn, and they're only up to this point. Slackers. The asparagus jungle is jungling. That asparagus isn't sure which way it's supposed to go. Just some shishito peppers here. I've got to thin them out. I ran out of space to plant them in, so they all got kind of crammed in here and they need more room. These will eventually get put up with clematis. Speaking of clematis, I have some here. These are getting a little chewed up, and these not quite so much. This one isn't blooming as much. This was originally supposed to be for my grapes, but the grapes died off, or so I thought. They're coming back, but I had planted all these wildflowers in here, so it's a competition now. The cornflower has grown up a little wild around the tree. They seeded themselves from last year. I really like these. It's such a pretty color. I don't know why they insist on tipping over though. This is the oregano Mom gave me. It's being barely contained by the weed barriers, so hopefully it won't start encroaching too far. And another sunflower that planted itself. California poppies that reseeded themselves even though they weren't originally planted anywhere near here. Some more wildflowers and some random brush that I clipped that I haven't picked up yet. The blackberry needs some pruning, but look at all of these berries. If the birds don't get to them first, this is going to be delicious. These are the sickly roses with powdery mildew. I treated them and they're slowly coming back. These roses are going crazy. I've had to tie them up, although there's only so much a poor piece of twine can handle. This is where that privet was encroaching on the rose bush and killing it, so I took some drastic action and hopefully the rose bush will survive. These other rose bushes, which you can't tell that I've tied them up too. They're just flopping over so much it can barely hold them. Some giant fungus I pulled out of the mulch and tossed with the brush. More roses. This is one of the older bushes. It had a companion here, but it died. I'm hoping to keep this one going, although it needs tying up as well. These passion flowers are taking their sweet time growing, and I know they're taking their time because all of those stakes are passion flowers that are not taking their time. I'm running out of stakes to stake them all. Here's some mint I planted last year, and it is now growing over here and encroaching on the water meter. This line up here is our water line. I filled in the trench and planted red clover there. The wild blackberries are filled with delicious looking berries, although I've seen birds hopping around in here, so I doubt I'm going to get anything. So here I planted sunflowers with some wildflowers. I didn't think the seeds would take, but they took far better than I thought, so this is going to be exciting. Some more wildflowers. Of course, the primrose is still blooming and slowly encroaching everywhere, and all of this crow onion is sending out little seeds to torment me with. So here I've got the camellia, the Mexican pansy, hydrangea, all of the stuff is starting to come back. These are finally blooming again. The coneflower is getting ready to bloom. These I planted zinnias in. I did not plant the sunflower. The sunflower planted themselves. My hibiscus that I thought was dead looks like it came back. I bought some pretty foxglove, but I need to plant those still. I love these. The petunias I really like. They're doing really well here. Pansies are still going strong. The marigolds are a bit iffy. My kumquat and Australian lime were put out here for the season to be happier, and they're looking a little better. They've got some new growth on them. The salvia Mom gave me is blooming finally. The stalks are dying back. I don't know what that is. It's either a zinnia or a sunflower. Either way, I did not plant that. These are the violas I planted last year that then reseeded themselves. They originally were a darker color, more of a black, and when they came back, a lot of them were like that. And I keep finding some out in the yard and then planting them here. And there's the mums. So everything's getting pretty colorful. I get to see lots of pretty flowers everywhere. There's a blue jay. He likes to scare off the grackles, so I like him. And finally, the poison ivy tree, which I've managed to get part of it yellowed, but it goes up quite a ways. So it's gonna take a while of spraying it over and over again before it hopefully dies. And that's it. That is my garden tour for early May.